Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and others in chat. Welcome to another drawing stream, and we are entering the home stretch of Inktober 2025. Today's subject matter is rivals, and we have a couple of chess playing priests, monks, something like that. Originally I wanted to do the same vertical composition, and just sort of slice it up, but it was so narrow that it wouldn't work. So now I've actually resized the canvas to fit so it's practically a one-to-one to the reference, which should make things easier to eyeball. I mean, the shoulder kind of goes all the way out to here. So, what have we been up to lately, chat? Well, I went to see my buddy yesterday, and we had a jolly good time with some board game night. And we kind of figured we might continue the board game today, which is why I hastily and foolishly, without communicating to my lovely audience, that hey, let's reschedule the stream, baby. So here we are. I suppose that is a crappy thing to do, and probably wouldn't be acceptable if I had a streamer with an actual audience. But hey, we have the kickbot pushers are alive and well. So let's see, what do we got here? We need a little bit more here and a little bit less here. Okay, interesting. And you needed a bit more in the front. Close. Much less. And a bit more here. He's leaning forward with his head. That's a good starting point. This needs to be pushed back a bit. So, what board game did we play? We played some good old-fashioned Gloomhaven. It's a fun game. But we're currently stuck because we have this scenario. We have this scenario that we need to do, which is just us, and we are not very good at it. To put it bluntly, we're just terrible at it, and we've been stuck at it for quite some time. Embarrassingly low, long time. I mean, now that I think about it, like that kind of just caves into the hand. Of course, there's got to be hands in this illustration as well, because screw me, I guess. kind of on point. It just needs to be a little bit more like that. It's kind of interesting to see us go like, ah, that can't be right, and then you go like, oh, dang, no, that actually works. That actually flies. Like, what the heck? Positively surprised by. We can just get a crude block in. That is a fairly accurate block in, actually. What the heck? Excuse me. Yeah, and I also got the moisturizer. Yeah, baby, but I could also like the whole particle cleaner thing, air filter device that I bought. Would have been a dud, chat, because I did mention that I had like that clock, wall-mounted digital clock, and they're like, oh yeah, your air humidity is like 15% or whatever. Like, wait, what? Oh, that's why I'm coughing. But then I bring this thing in, and it goes, and when you fire it up, you go like, oh yeah, well the air humidity here is 40%. I'm like, which one of you are correct? So I have it in, I don't know if you can hear it, but I have it in my room, in here with me now, even though it's like, real, has enough capacity to go like, cover the entire apartment. And I've set it at like 55% moisture, so it's spewing out the good stuff, and it might take some time for it to until I see effects, so I might have to, you know, just leave it on for a full day until I properly see the effect of it. But we'll have to wait. We'll just have to wait and see. Alright, so we kinda crudely blocked things in. Obviously we need base. Somewhat. Okay, it just needs to be narrower. Probably not that narrow. Something like that. And that is surprisingly accurate. Like, what the heck? Well, I'll take it, you know. I'll take it as a sign of improvement. Whatever. But I suppose that if again we're gonna do the squint thing, so then we have a hand, and it's probably somewhere around in that region. There's this other gentleman's hand. In this here region, roughly speaking, kinda. Yeah, okay. We can just cut it off here, and that is roughly speaking where the hand is, and the other hand is then about here. Yeah, it just needs to be a bit more elongated like that, roughly speaking. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, the other lights. And then of course we have the chessboard itself. I'm like, how am I supposed to do the chessboard? How the heck am I supposed to do that, chat? I'm gonna simplify the ever-living crap out of it. That's for sure. But my goodness gracious me. I suppose it could run away from our responsibilities, chat. That's just because that's how we roll here, apparently. And we're just gonna have to like refine the silhouette of this gentleman's neck, something like that. And then we have the shoulder like such. And I think it has that angle, but you know what? That is indeed good enough. We need a bit more, a bit more forehead like that. Smooth things out a bit. Yeah, that's pretty good. Smooth things. Other way. Alright, something like that. And his doesn't have that indented. It does, but there is this big white triangular shape. And how the heck we're gonna get that, chat? Something like that. Yeah, it's close. I'm just a little bit on. Okay, so it's more from this side, and a little bit from that side. Something like that, maybe? Question mark. Yeah, that's good enough. I think that's too much. Well, one of them is there. Okay, cool. We're just gonna put in the rope. That's a simple shape thing above here. Something like that. There you have them ropes. Actually, we should just do this to cut them off, and we can sculpt them in a little bit finer, like that. Yeah, that's good, chat. That's good. All right. What am I supposed to do with your face, dude? I mean, it goes and then down and then out. Like there is a shape there, but I'm just gonna like probably have to refine it a little bit. If we do it like that, maybe. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, chat. It's hard. Say the line, chat. Drawing is hard. But that's not going to stop us. Let's see. Probably something about those hands. To both of these gentlemen. Alright. We have a like angular. It's probably no, it's actually pretty spot on. And then we have like we have a black shape there, which is the shadow for the that kind of just merges into that. I mean, yeah, you could. And that is pretty much the finger. It just needs to be cut off a little bit short like that. And is that supposed to be the triangle? Yeah. And it's pretty accurate in terms of sheer size as well. It just needs to be, you know, refined a little bit. That's probably way too big and the angles are wrong, but we can always, you know, trim it. And then we have sort of like the, how do you say, the specular highlight on his, the highlight on his chair. Oop. And from there we have a very I would like to get the angle first. A little bit flatter. Is that the correct term for angles? Flatter angle. I think so. Ow. It's a canon terminology now. It kind of goes on the top of that one. So I'm just going to do this and this. It's a bit... It's a bit, or it's quite. Quite thicker, but whatever. Okay. Then what we see here, what we see, chat. But yeah, going back to Gloomhaven, like we struggled, but like there's some small comfort that we weren't alone in our struggle, because the mission or the quest or whatever you want to call it that we took on, it seems to be like one of the hardest quests in the whole game. So we are not alone in our struggle. We are not alone in our struggle, in our suffering, and in our agony. Alright, this needs to go the other way. It needs to be a little bit more angular. Yeah. Why do I keep trying to sound like Captain Picard in... What was it? First Contact? The line is on here. Oh. Well, I keep quoting or referring to Star Wars with, it needs to be a little bit higher. So, gotta treat it different. Can't treat the other big star sci-fi franchise any different. Gotta go for equality, chat. That's the only way forward to a better tomorrow. How in the heck am I supposed to... Okay, cool. We can just like... you know what? I'm gonna merge those two shadows together. Those two shapes. And we have some... I don't know if that is that in the right? Oh, that's way too... That is way too low. You don't have that big hands, dude. Yeah. And I genuinely think that that is... okay, well, okay, it needs this... I'm not entirely sure how to best... Yeah, because it... Probably something like that. Lower it a little bit. Okay. So. And I mean, I think that that's about it. That's about it. I mean... yeah, like he has these beads and they're like, sure, they have like specular highlights, but I can like, at the same time, I go like, I don't want to fiddle around with that. There's some... more lines on down here. Oh, no. Make that really thin. Okay, like, is that the whole hand, or is that just... It isn't. Okay. And we can kind of just... I should probably have sculpted the hand in before I did the whole... I'm not sure what's the best strat for that hand, chat, but we need a triangular shape. And this is a little... it's probably a little bit now. I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those really, like, it kind of just cuts this thing off right about there. Something like that. It kind of comes down chopping off the help, and then all of that kind of just disappears, like low-key that. Yeah, I'm seeing it. Seeing it, chat. And then we have a finger, and we're gonna just... the thumb, which is pretty on point, I dare say. The only difference is, of course, that we need to continue. We need to continue this line here. And maybe thin it a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Alright, that chessboard, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a royal pain in the butt. I'm kind of curious. Can I get this? I have no idea why am I even bothering with it. But I don't know. Yeah, there we go. I'll keep it. Okay. Is that the right angle of the board? Of the table? Like, what the? No, it's not. Holy crap. Let's just go down here. Go up here and then down here. All right. Now we have a starting point. All right, so we can just fix this a little bit, and something sticks out a little bit. Sticks out a bit. Folds or whatever. I'm not actually sure how to do like the silhouette of clothing folds. Folding clothes is tricky. That's all I will say about that, chat. It looks so wrong, though. It looks wrong because it is wrong. Because this sucker needs to go continue down. Something like that. That probably looks a lot more correct. Yeah, yes it does. It just needs that bone. Probably has a fancy Latin name, no doubt. But yeah, that's what we will use. Like that. Okay. So. We haven't even started on the chessboard yet. And I mean, I do, but I also am afraid that I will lose the silhouette of his head if I treat this part as in light. And obviously you can't go around the fact that his skin color is darker. But I'm only working with 2 values, so I mean, we could try. Because I mean, it could be interesting because he does have this electrical candle thing here going on. So let's do that. Let's just try it. Is that even in the right spot? Kinda. It just needs to go a little bit, a bit of an upwards curve here. Right. But now I'm kind of like, I need to find out, like, where, oh, the shadows. So if we kind of go like, going down, I see how it goes down and then it goes in. And like there's a bolt of lightning here. Something like that. The angles might be. No, it's pretty good. All right, so everything. Right? Nope. What? Yeah. Okay, so this one needs to be shaped like that. There we go. All right. It's a bit tricky, chat, but we'll just do what we can. We'll just try this on this fine gentleman, and we will. Yeah. And then that shape, of course, kind of just disappears into. Yeah, and of course we have the white, this white color, which breaks up the. Okay. Well, we can just take away all of this, and right, I think that would work. Question mark? More or less. I think it's pretty gosh darn accurate. Okay, it just needs a little something here and there. All right, and we'll just clean this up a little bit. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, and this, I suppose we could curve this one out a bit more and then bring it in like that. Okay. And the ear, the back shadow of his ear is pretty prominent, so we need to get that into place. We're just gonna do the back shadow of the ear, and that blob is pretty much on point. Like, it needs to be a little bit reach up higher, but then it kind of just needs to sort of like taper, something like that. Ooh, look at that. That is solid, chat. That is very solid. I'm really happy about that. It's a bit unfortunate that his other hand currently looks like he's an amputee, but we'll see what we can do, chat. Let's see what we can do. But the interesting thing is, look, like, let's just, right. Yeah, like I could, like, it's weird. Like, it reads so much better because now I can see. Now I see the three-dimensionality of his head. I see planes. I see shapes. It reads so much better, and I think we're gonna read even better still once we kind of. I think that's way too thick. Way too thick, chat. But I can get it into the right position, and then we can just move it away and tweak it a little bit. Ooh. This guy reminds me low-key of Keanu Reeves. I don't think that is Keanu Reeves that model it, but yeah. Or I don't know. What I have no idea what Keanu Reeves is. Decides to show up for a random photo op. Hey, gonna show up with some stock photos. I mean, generally speaking, he seems like a fairly chill guy, so it wouldn't surprise me to go like, yeah, I don't know, I don't mind. All right. Keep bouncing back and forth, but that's okay. That's what the pros are doing too. So I'm a professional illustrator. I know what the heck I'm doing. He said with a ridiculous amount of confidence. There we go. Okay. Now, the interesting thing is we're going to use this... Excuse me. This, candle? No, it's not a candlestick. What the heck is that called? Anyway, we're going to use that, whatever that is, as a way of, I suppose, a framing device. So we're like, yeah, this is how you're... Ooh, would you look at that, chat? Would you look at that? Alright. We have it roughly in place. And now we kind of just need to low-key refine it. Something like that. I think that's too wide of the base. Yeah. Way too wide. It needs to be here, here, and it kind of needs to go up. Like such. And because that handle, well, like, it gives you an idea of sort of framing of the face. All right. And now all we have to do is the chessboard. Why did it have to be a chessboard, chat? Why did it have to be a chessboard? Okay. I would like to try and do something about his hand. Technically speaking, it needs to go in and then straight, like so. And then it needs a triangular... Oh. It needs a triangular stick out for his thumb. I mean, it looks like a mitten now, but, you know. What do you want? What do you want from me, chat? That's kind of low-key what his... Right, clean up that silhouette. Look at that. And that wrap up line there. Alright, it's a bit crude, admittedly, but, you know. It works. Okay. Now, the big challenge now is, of course, a hair in my mouth. That's a big challenge. That's not that big of a challenge, it's just a little bit gross. But that's fine. That's fine, chat. That's fine. Okay. It's just gonna be such. I'm definitely thinking. I'm just definitely thinking in terms of like temp layer and whatnot. But yeah, because you only have two values. So okay, what if I let me cook here, chat. Let me cook. It's no, it goes outside. Oh my goodness, the absolute mad lads they have there. Yeah. Okay, that's good enough. Right, we can use that as a base. Right. And now we're gonna just... And this is how... I suppose at some point I should probably do a stream, at least multiple streams possibly, how I do portraits, because it's not a bad idea to sort of just, for me, to get a refresher, because I haven't done portraits in almost a year. Almost a year, chat. But like, pretty much this is kind of how I did it. He's got like, oh yeah, well, temp layers and working through it and erasing so that we get clean clean corners and clean connections, because now I can just go like, ah yeah, and then I can go down to the other layer and I can just say, hey, look at me, I'm erasing, and I can erase pretty closely up to there. Yeah. And of course, the big thing here is that this line, it needs to be a heck of a lot thinner. Yeah. Let's collapse that. New temp layer, and then we need to go from here. Oh, not as an eraser, but of course something like that. Maybe baby. Is that in perspective? I don't know. It kind of is. It kind of is, chat. I mean, at least, you know, not perfect by any means. Marshall Mathers would probably, if you had any hair left, he might tear it out. He's not the type to do that. Marshall is chill. Marshall of from Proco, of Proco fame. He wouldn't do that. He's too chill for that. Okay. So now I kind of need. So that's the frame. So we can lock that. And then I think it's just easier if Like, how many? It's 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's 8. It's 8 by. It's not 8 by 8. I should know. I played chess. I mentioned this before. I used to play chess with my dad, and that was fun. You know what? We are just going to do it like this, chat. We're just gonna do it like this. I know that's not super correct or anything, but for the purposes of this quick and dirty study, it will have to do. It will have to do, chat. It will have to do. Then, of course, the big question is, how do we do it like this? So yeah, okay, so now we can just erase these. It takes a little bit of planning and you like wrap your head around it, but you know. And now comes the fun part. You know what? We're gonna make it a little bit easier on ourselves, chat. We're gonna go into properties. We're gonna turn one into blue. We're gonna turn the other one into red. Look at that. And now it's miss. How was that? Yeah. Like, this one should be transparent, so. We're gonna be here all day, aren't we, in chat? Oh yeah, you bet we are. So that is now that makes this one white and that one red. Right, so I basically I just need to erase where they are, essentially where they are overlapping. Alright, then I don't have to be here. You're free, chat. You will soon be free. Yeah. Logic checks out. And we can get it to look somewhat nice. There we go. Or yeah. And now we're talking red. So we are just now then erasing red here, a red here, and red here. There's probably like 16 other different ways of doing this that is easier and more intuitive, but And one of them would probably just go like, yeah, just make a checkerboard grid and then just distort that into perspective and whatnot. But it's kind of interesting to also just try and do silly little stuff like this in with a low tech. But like, no, you only have 3 brushes, make it work. Yeah, there you go. That is a one ugly checker. Oh my goodness gracious me. Oh boy. But there you go. Alright. So I can collapse those down, but and we need to sort of like invert it. What is that? Selection, isn't that? Here we go. Select, invert selection. And then I need to go up on here. And then I put it in. No. Oh, just delete like that. Because his hand is over the checkboard and that. And we need... Oh. Ah, boy. This one was a juicy chat. Like, what the heckity heck. But I suppose we could just... dance around it. And we can just do... like that. Right? Because now there's a hole into it, and then it go like, yeah, there you go. Chat, look at that. That is on one ugly checkerboard, but hey, it's a checkerboard. Oh. And of course, you're technically speaking, you're supposed to have like pieces on the board, but you know what? I'm not gonna tempt fate. I'm seriously not gonna tempt fate. Not at all. Not in the slightest. I'm gonna call that an absolute win, chat. I'm gonna call that an absolute frickin' win. It's taking a little while, but you know, the humidifier was going like, yeah, I set it to make it hot steam. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's cooking. So, yeah. We'll see. I wonder if I should be able to leave it on for the entire... while I'm away at work. Sounds risky. But I can start it very early on Thursday. And then just let it do its thing before but we exporting it as PNG. Yeah, and then just leave it on to see if that has any noteworthy effect. Just let it cook for an entire, more or less a full day. Exciting stuff, chat. Exciting stuff. Let's see. We upload that. Man in Black. Alright, that's not probably not how I would have described it, but I'll just take it. Ah, man. Yeah. because I can't remember. Like, goddamn. There's someone on PixelFed that I'm following, like, what is it, Erica.e, and she, the photographer, and she really do be posting a lot. Let's see. Where is it? There we go. We gotta give credit where credit is due, chat. We gotta give credit where credit is due. Create new post. And we will just post it like that. Boom. That was perfectly timed. My buddy called, or pinged me, texted me, pinged me, what the heck. That we will go for a second round of Gloomhaven and fail miserably. Alright, so tomorrow I have work. So then I will definitely be at 6 p.m. Yeah, I should probably figure out how to better communicate with my audience, or my non-existing audience, my bots, my peeps, because like swapping things around like that without any giving people a heads up and communicating a heads up, like, oh yes, here's the thing. Not good, not good. But so yeah, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, 6 p.m. and most likely the same for Thursday, Friday. All right. We'll have see. Well, that's the schedule. We'll try to stick with it. So thank you for stopping by. And then keep drawing, keep having fun, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.